welcome everyone. As I said earlier, the Twitter Spaces is recorded, so for whoever has to drop off or who has to come in a bit later, you can always listen in to the recording. So this Twitter Spaces is hosted by Morningstar Ventures, and I really think that we can all agree that yesterday's election results really had a historic impact on both the crypto and on the traditional markets, with Bitcoin reaching an all-time high and the Nasdaq and also the S&P hitting its record highs as well. And now with the current bullish momentum of the market, we are, of course, all eager to see how things will progress. But while we wait to see how that progresses, we just wanted to dive into another topic, which is a top narrative and driving innovation in the crypto space right now, and namely that is DePin, or which is short for decentralized physical infrastructure networks. So joining us today to discuss DePin and its future impact on the blockchain space are Mehdi from Animoca Brands, Rosie from Ping Pong, and also Sissi from Solana SIM. Now, before we get started with a round of introduction from our speakers, for those of you who haven't joined us before and don't know us yet, I'm your co-host, Naini, and hosting with me is my colleague, Peter, who is the head of growth at Morningstar Ventures. So if there are any questions from the audience, we always welcome them. You can either put them into the comments section below this Twitter Spaces, or you can also ask your question live at the end, and you can ask that to one of our speakers. So without further ado, I think we have two of our three speakers on board already and all the tech problems sorted out. So again, welcome Rosie and welcome Mehdi. We're really glad to have you. And if we could please get a brief introduction of who you are, and if you could tell us a bit more about what you are working on in crypto. Rosie, why don't you go first?
Cool. Thank you guys for having me. And my name's Rosie. At Ping Pong, we're building the first on-chain platform where user can access, trade, and invest in structured financial products backed by real compute resources. Essentially, the idea is turning compute resource into liquid and tradable assets.
Great. And how did you get started in the crypto space?
I started, so my background, 3 years in engineering, 3 years in private markets as an investor. One of the area that I focus on was in looking at blockchain technology and how it will change the financial world. And then I worked as a CSO at a crypto project for 1.5 years before starting Ping Pong. And then at the beginning of this year, we started Ping Pong with my co-founders.
Amazing. Really great intro. Mehdi, how about you? Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you're working on in crypto?
GM, everyone. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So I'm with Animoca Brands. I've been with Animoca Brands for about last 2.5 years. I work on the investment team. My focus typically is infrastructure, but lately I've focused a lot more on DePin. So you can argue infrastructure and physical type DePin projects are my key area of focus. I also run a podcast with Animoca, and lately I'm trying to get more and more DePin founders on the show because I feel like this is one vertical which definitely requires more storytelling.
Nice. Thanks, Mehdi. I've also seen your podcasts and I'm a fan. I really like the way that you interact with guests and the questions that you ask. So yeah, really great job with that. So I have a bit of a bonus icebreaker question before we really dive deep into DePin. And I think it's really inevitable that we have to talk about what's going on in the market and what happened yesterday with the US election, even if we're not all based in the US. But curious to hear from you, Rosie and Mehdi. Do you have any reactions? What are your opinions? And how do you think the crypto space is going to go forward from what we saw happening yesterday?
Yeah, I can go first. I mean, with this election results, I think we're going to see more of a friendly environment for crypto innovation in the space, which means that for us, especially as a platform that's going to trade compute resource backed structured products, technically not included, not seen in the traditional finance market, I think it's with the power that we're unleashing, it has the potential to go into mainstream traditional finance as a recognized asset type.
Mehdi, what about you? Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, political opinion aside, I feel it's extremely bullish for the crypto environment, and specifically DePin. I think one of the issues with the last regime was there was unclarity because of SEC regulation. So I think if you go onto the CoinGecko page today, you'll see one of the biggest winners today is one of a DePin project called Grass. So I feel like market is also kind of re-rating those projects that will use some of the cash flow to do buyback of tokens. So I think there'll be less scrutiny on those types of project. Internally, I'll also tell you what has happened. Basically, all the projects that I was kind of like I was deal lead on. There are a couple of in our pipeline that we were planning on investing. So we have given instructions to our legal team to quicken up the review process because we feel the market is heating up and we need to get those investment across the line before they get other lead investors or the market starts bidding up the valuation. So these are like some of the dynamics just to kind of give you a macro overview of.
Yeah, great. I mean, it is crunch time. I think now we're really seeing the charts go the way that we want them to go. So yeah, thanks, Rosie and Mehdi. And I also just saw that that Sissi, our third speaker, joined. So I'm gonna just add her into the chat. And while we do that, Peter, do you have any reactions, given that you're also in our investment team, of the latest news?
I think as everyone, at least now we have clarity. That's the best point, that we have clarity who is elected, and we see who is the new president, and we have less speculations about it because it seems like market been too highly anticipating the elections, and now everyone is just a bit settled down and can think and get back to work finally. But at the same time, politically, we don't know what to expect from Trump administration and how he can react, how he eventually will try to regulate crypto and try to engage with the crypto community and crypto leaders and companies in US. So he's kind of more unpredictable in the sense. But I kind of do share the view that anyways that any result of election would be more bullish for crypto just because it will bring more certainty, and of course hopefully SEC leadership will change, and as always it happens with the new administration, and we'll have more clarity overall for the blockchain and crypto regulation in the US, which will affect the general sentiment of the market in other countries and other jurisdictions as well.
Yeah, I think that's a really great analysis. So I think putting the election topic aside, which we'll probably read and hear a lot more about in the upcoming days, Sissi, thank you for joining us. Sissi's joining us from the Solana SIM team. We've already covered a bit the topic of the election and how that's going to influence the crypto market potentially. But actually, let's dive deep into what we're all here for, which is DePin, and maybe you already touched upon it a little bit, but let's start from the beginning. So, and whoever wants to take this first from the three speakers, please go ahead. But in your opinion, so what factors have really contributed to the rise of this DePin narrative, and why has it become such a significant trend over the past year?
Yeah,
Yeah,
hi.
I'll go first.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, you first.
Uh, Rosie, you want to go first? It's okay. Ladies
No,
first
no,
is
no, no,
okay.
you first. Thank you.
Uh, yeah, so I think there were multiple multiple tailwinds that are helping deepen. So I would first like to define deepen. For me, the way I define deepen is one is on the physical side. So let's say you have some sort of hardware, you're doing some sort of useful work, and you get tokens. And another one is on the digital and virtual side. So things like storage, compute, bandwidth. When we speak about compute, I think that's the project Rosie wants to tokenize in various way. So I think the two major factors that kind of contributed to the boom was on the physical side, we have seen a lot of deepen make actual revenue and use it to buy back token. So the two projects that are on top of my mind, one is Helium and another one is GeoNet, and they're making millions of dollars just through providing these demand side services, whether it's in terms of Helium, that's the mobile carrier service. And in terms of GeoNet, they're providing this RTK GPS accuracy correction thing. And because of that, they're making millions of dollars of revenue and they're using it to buy back tokens. So all of a sudden, market are like, you know what, crypto is more than memes. Um, and there's an actual business here where you can make cash flow and use it to accrue value to the token side. Now, on the digital side of things, I think Chat GPT, spatial computing, all of these things were really hot narratives. And that also kind of put impetus in terms of the narratives of GPU, in terms of like GPU clustering and basically providing compute services for a lot of different things, whether when it comes to AI model, AI inference, spatial computing, even rendering of games and things like that. So I think those two big macro factors, in my opinion, have been giving rise to basically majority of the subsectors within DeepIn have started to kind of rise up. And I think one catalyst I am looking forward to is bigger exchanges kind of taking note of this and kind of listing these projects. What really excited me was Grass achieving what they did without getting a Binance listing. I think just as an industry as well as a sector, that's a very good sign.
Yeah, great overview, Mehdi. Sissi, go ahead with what you wanted to say as well.
Yeah, thank you. I think personally, as blockchain technology continue to evolve and improve, the DePin project provides a more reliable technology foundation, and the DePin project introduced novel token economic models that's like have shown great potential over past years. And of course, the cost efficiency, I think DePin often offers like cheaper service charges compared to like corporate owner facilities. And I think recently, like this year, VC and investor have shown strong interest in the DePIN space. And like the DePIN program has raised significantly funds over the past year, and DePIN is seen as an important like breakthrough for real world applications for of the like blockchain technology. I think this is really important in like 2024. So
Yeah, great. Yeah, there's a lot of advancements going on. And Rosie, do you want to add anything to
Yeah.
why it's become such a significant trend?
Yeah, in addition to what Mehdi has said, the other thing definitely that I think all of us will agree is the development of AI. We're seeing, especially after the launch of GPT 3.5, we're seeing a huge demand-driven ask of GPUs to support the development of AI. And then I think to me, why the rise of DePin, why now is now we have a technological advancement where people can start really using decentralized compute for efficiency and cost effectiveness. We're seeing a lot of AI optimization skills, including like model compression, knowledge distillation, quantization, all these, or some of the search-based like retrieval augmented generation, so that it becomes possible to run a decent size of AI models, large language models, at decentralized compute for training and for inferencing. And when you look at that versus running all these in a centralized data center where cloud providers are charging at a very high margin for use of their compute, now people really have a chance to do P2P compute for again cost effectiveness and compute efficiency. And so I think the whole rise of DePin is really driven by demand side, and that demand, apart from the success that we've seen in Helium and GeoNet, it is definitely AI.
And I like that you touch upon AI already, Rosie, because obviously AI is a huge innovation that is seeing, some like that's bridging a lot with blockchain. And I think in terms of use cases, DePin has also shown, a lot of potential. But we've talked a lot about the blockchain elements, and obviously the three of you are in that, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that. Before we go into the blockchain part of it, I was wondering, how have you seen, or how has DePin technology basically disrupted even the traditional Web2 companies? Like you were mentioning AI, like how has it, how can it, or how has it disrupted NVIDIA or companies like Google or Amazon? Do you see any use cases happening there already?
Yeah, I think a lot of these technology advancement we're seeing, it's crypto Web2 agnostic. Like some of the optimization software layer optimization skill techniques that I mentioned, it allows for crypto people to build a economy or a DePin based economy out of it. And we're seeing, like, for example, Exo Labs, they're running, I think Llama was over 400 billion parameter models at a same internet environment, but across different devices. With the advancement of Mac Mini supporting up to 120 gigabytes per second bandwidth boost, those hardware layer, software layer comes together so that we can build what we're trying to build here, so that we can, at Ping Pong here, can commodify compute resource. And I wouldn't say it's a disruption. I would say it's more of a evolution of things coming together, and then we're at a point where true technology innovation can happen.
Mehdi, what's your take on it in terms of DePin disrupting, Web2
Yeah.
industries?
Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of industries. These are not necessarily the most sexiest industries out there. They're also getting disrupted thanks to DePin. One is flight tracking. So, for example, with flight tracking, normally your flight radar or your flight 24, these types of company rely on flight enthusiasts to track basically to track flights. And in return, what they give is just a subscription towards their platform. So we are now seeing projects that are basically giving token incentive for people to actually track flights and make some money out of it. So one project, which is again still on the early stage side of things, is called Wingbits. They're already started making revenue and disrupting these incumbents. The second one I mentioned earlier is GeoNet. They are going for the RTK market. RTK market in Web2 world, nobody was able to create a large market. The biggest one is Trumbull, but even in that case, they don't have the global coverage. So with GeoNet, what they're doing is they're using token incentives to make the GPS signals more accurate, which allows more application on top of that to be built. So things like your consumer robotics, which rely on 1 centimeter accuracy, things like autonomous cars, autonomous vehicle, they require basically a higher degree of precision, and things like drone delivery, and even location-based games like Pokemon, they can really benefit from these high accuracy GPS signals. So GeoNet has basically disrupted the RTK. In fact, right now they were one of the large. Right now they are the largest RTK network, and they're kind of like slipping. Um, yeah, they're kind of under the radar. I don't think it has been kind of unearthed, but yeah, I'm seeing more and more experiments happening. But those are few projects on top of my mind. I can actually say and kind of argue that they are disrupting the traditional sectors.
Cool. Sissi, what is your take on that? Probably more from like telecom perspective, considering that you're at Solana SIM are collaborating a lot with the like different telecom providers, and how DePin can disrupt this industry.
Peter, I think Sissi is having a couple of tech problems, so we're going to try to get her back in if we want to move into another question.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So I also would like to then Mehdi, you spoke about GeoNet and also I noticed that you recently partnered, Animoca recently partnered with them to like foster DePin adoption. I would like to ask more broader question and Animoca brands, speaking from the company perspective, from the group perspective, how do you see the role of DePin influencing the broader blockchain ecosystems, and especially considering the latest partnership and some of the DePin investments that Animoca did? What are the strategic moves is your company making to capitalize this trend, and what is the overall perspective of the group for on this narrative?
Yeah. So for me, DePin typically is kind of disrupting the traditional sector, but there are also elements within blockchain that are getting elements within blockchain and also elements within subsector of blockchain that are getting disrupted. So let me elaborate on that. So with GeoNet, the angle was they are going for this consumer robotic thing, the drone thing, the agriculture, and all of those things. But within gaming, there are things like Pokemon Go, and there have been few attempts within Web3 side to have location based game. And for location based game, more than the Web3 asset ownership, the biggest thing you require is 1 centimeter accuracy. So GeoNet was very useful there. So what we are planning and kind of ideating with them is location-based games and location-based questing for our flagship project, Mochaverse. So that's the collaboration angle with them.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Now, in terms of blockchain, there is a project out there. It's like WorldCoin is out there. Some people are for it, some people are against it. But one of the biggest issues within blockchain is that we haven't solved for the issue of Sybil when it comes to airdrop. We don't know on chain whether somebody is a bot, somebody is a now AI agent, or somebody is human. Like literally now we also have AI agents. So how do we kind of prove within blockchain if somebody is human or somebody is a bot or somebody is an AI agent? So one protocol we are very excited about, which is a WorldCoin competitor called Humanity Protocol. So Humanity Protocol kind of does this proof of personhood where you can, through your palm scan, palm print, kind of verify whether you're human or not, and you can also verify your credential. So this unlocks a lot of application within blockchain, solves for bot problem within gaming, Sybil problem with airdrop, and also if you think about it from a philosophical standpoint, you can also argue one of the issues with Solana, the like not even just Solana, even Ethereum sometimes is congestion. Maybe there could be a solution where there's a differentiated tiered based pricing for bots, AI agents, and human. And you know, in order for yourself to prove that you're human, you have to scan your palm and kind of prove that. So they're creating these deepened devices which can retrieve your data, and you can also kind of register yourself as somebody who's unique and human. So for us, that's the angle. It's kind of overarching and kind of touches every touch point in Web3.
Cool. Thank you so much for the rich answer. And I think we all came to the common conclusion that DePin products and services, they're first of all solving the real issues, and that's why they're connected to physical world and to physical networks and physical devices. That's why I want to ask Rosie from Ping Pong, how do you guys drive the adoption of the technology, and how do you give people access to resources and enhance user experience to make DePin more accessible for developers and companies who wants to like get access to DePin resources or share this liquidity or trade this liquidity? Can you please more elaborate on your product approach?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our first approach is to acquire these compute resources and allocate them to different DePin networks so that these DePin network can sell it to different, either package them into like some kind of SDK, providing them as to enterprise solutions, or they can do P2P data trading, all sort of stuff. But then from a user standpoint, it's first of all, there are different kinds of DePins solving very different problems, and to end users, they're may not be as clear. And so we built what we called multi-mining app, which is a PC or mainstream PC compatible application, client-side application that in the backend, what it does is we aggregate the available compute resource on any given laptop and then allocate them, dynamically allocate them to different DePin networks for mining, so that user, without knowing what exactly is going on, they can contribute to building the decentralized networks or building the world's computer, in our team's term. So that's the first approach that we took. Second approach is building, commodifying compute resource. So now we have all these compute resources, and then all of them are doing different kinds of stuff. How do we benchmark them? How do we quantify them so that they can provide value outside of crypto? All these, the aggregation, dynamic allocation of compute resource right now are dedicated to mostly mining, crypto mining activities. But then there's tons of other stuff that it can provide, like for example, running AI agents, providing, or even just providing general compute resources to run a software. But allowing that kind of scenario to happen, you need a protocol and a user-friendly platform for user to actually trade their compute resource. And so we built our on-chain benchmark, basically a benchmark test, so that we can quantify any compute resource that we're taking in and then selling it based on market demands. And again, the user interface has to be friendly enough for retail users to understand what they're purchasing, especially right now we're offering structured products that are compute resource backed. And so those are the two ways of customer acquisitions and customer activations that we're taking.
Thank you so much. Really recommend everyone to check out Ping Pong application, which is already live and which has more than 40,000 devices already in the network, or what is the latest numbers?
It's more, but then again, it's all linked in our link tree. You guys feel free to check it out.
yeah, definitely recommend everyone to check out. Sissi, I think that you're back. That's great, and I would like to ask you more about the how Solana SIM is integrating or planning to integrate DePin into its framework and offering, and what are unique advantages you offer to the users who get used to like traditional telecom services with their like mobile providers.
Yeah, Solana SIM integrates DePin to elevate its framework and harnessing DID technologies to enhance the utilities and security of mobile connectivity. And this integration provides our users with like unique decentralized identities that enable secure and like efficient management of like DID cross virus platforms, like from social media to financial transactions. And second, by embedding DePin DIDs into our Solana SIM ecosystem, we're providing a seamless bridge between Web2 and Web3 environments, offering users like high-speed data across up to 100 countries with 22 or 28 gigabits per month. And this allows for not just a board, but like secure global coverage, ensuring that our users' online interactions are both provided and comply with GDPR. And this strategic enhancement positions Solana SIM at the forefront of decentralized mobile solutions and like ensuring our users enjoy the full spectrum of Web3 capabilities without the problem speed or accessibility.
Sounds awesome. And I believe we covered different types of different projects right now, whether it's like consumer-faced models like Solana SIM, or B2B2C, or B2B like Giant, or even flight tracking products that Mehdi mentioned. And I would like to ask all of you, what do you believe are the main challenges facing the widespread adoption of DePin? And how might the industry and probably yourself or your project can help to overcome these barriers? Who wants to take this one?
Yeah, I can take it. I think it was one of the things that we wanted to do eventually is building the HashiCorp equivalent for decentralized compute. Sorry, DePin in general. What we're seeing, but I mean, it's DePin again. It's a very there's different projects targeting different solving very different problems. When I say DePin, I'm mostly focusing on compute resource, and for that, a lot of them are offering two developer products. And when you look at building an application in Web2 or using centralized cloud provider services, it's very streamlined. Like you use their SDK, you deploy your infrastructure, even as code to support your application. But then in today's DePin, we're seeing different decentralized cloud platforms, regardless of it providing generalized like bare metal machines or AI specific use cases. They're very fragmented, which means that when an application developer, regardless of they're building Web2 or Web3 products, they don't really have a tool chain to develop their application to start with. So then they're dealing with different tech stack provided by different providers with different reliability benchmarks. And it creates a problem, like the fragmentation creates a real development problem that I think is hindering the massive adoption of decentralized cloud in general. And so for two developer products, we need a HashiCorp equivalent multi-cloud control platform that allows developers to deploy their application on different clouds. It doesn't like application developer doesn't need to know where their software is running. It just needs its application to run reliably and to hit certain uptime. And we can all abstract that away of the complexity through a literally a controller. I think that's needed in the industry. I think we're seeing some projects doing it. Originally, we wanted to tackle this, but then we think later on we will start working on this. And when that happens, because the solution provided by different decentralized cloud are more cost effective, and then also the compute efficiency is and the reliability is almost the part that centralized cloud providers are providing, then we'll see a organic adoption of DePin or compute-based DePin being massively adopted.
Yeah, that's a great overview in terms of also the technicalities of DePin, Rosie. Mehdi, do you perhaps want to chime in terms of maybe more of a macro view and an industry view of what some of the hurdles are when we look at widespread adoption?
Yeah, I think Rosie brought up some good points. I'll discuss more on the market structure side of things. I feel like um, some of the market structures within crypto are broken, and I think that hurts DePin way more than some of the other vertical. So, for example, I'll be very candid here. The way exchange listing these days work is if you have a lot of crypto hype, if you have a lot of fake users or normal users or mix of both, um, basically that captures exchanges attention. While fundamentally what's happening is deepen our amazing business model that at the end of the day will have revenue and will have strong fundamental regardless of the user base or regardless of hype or regardless of marketing. So I think one thing I'm seeing is these exchange listing managers going for these variables and optimizing for these variables that are not necessarily good for our industry, and that's why you find yourself in a position where even if a good deepen is making a lot of revenue on the demand side, they might not get the similar distribution with a project that relies on KOLs or Twitter hype and all of those things. So I think one of the challenges for Deepin is, apart from just being B2B, um, they also have to somehow figure out how to be B2C. So I think that's number one. Um, and yeah, number two is the storytelling aspect. I think these founders also have to tell better story that kind of captures attention of masses rather than just a few people who are in the deep in the trenches. So I think that's my high level take on what's impacting deep in at the moment. And also there's third one. Sorry,
Go ahead.
this just came out as a very unstructured thought. I think broadly speaking, there's also an issue with the
Mm-hmm.
definition. I think my definition of deepen might be very different from, let's say, Rosie's definition of deepen. I feel like it's a very broad category. There are multiple subsectors within it. There's compute, there is bandwidth, there is storage, there are CDN networks, then you have sensor, now you have flight tracking, you also have energy, you have your IoT type things. So I think one thing which a lot of people sometimes become guilty of is just pulling all of these things into one bucket. But fundamentally, physical networks and virtual networks have very unique characteristics and should be differentiated, in my opinion. So I think that's another thing that's kind of hammering the industry, the actual definition of what deepen is as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. So we had make it B2C, define, make a better definition. And what was the first one again?
Exchange listing dynamics are
Listing. That was what it is. Yeah.
listing dynamics.
Okay. Yeah, those are three good takeaways. And I think I completely agree with your third one as well. I mean, there are so many different definitions and use cases for DePin, right? Like, I think one thing that's very daunting, not just about DePin, but the whole crypto space, is that sometimes it is very like developer focused and technical focused, so that not everyone thinks that they can come into that space. But if we make it a little bit more easy to understand and seamless, then maybe adoption will also grow, which is also going to lead me to Sissi. I think it would be great to hear from you from more of a consumer perspective, and the fact that you guys are working in the telco space, about what you think is something that's hindering the adoption of DePin.
Yeah, from my side, like what we are just mentioned, because of the technology, people are rarely to come because of the like hard understanding. So I think the biggest challenge Japan currently faces is user adoption and market size. Despite like the huge potential of this project, and they're still in their early stage, I think, with only a limited number of blockchain enthusiasts and facility owners showing interest. Well, it's rising, of course, but like I think it also needs like participant the participant density, making it difficult to generate enough network effects. So I think this is the like biggest challenges. And second, I want to say competition with traditional solutions. The DePin project needs to demonstrate its advantages over existing centralized solutions, and like quality of service may not as good as proven solution that has been like exists over many years. So for me, personally, I think to overcome these hurdles, it's better to educating the markets about the benefits or the knowledge of decentralization, and establishing strong use cases can drive like wider acceptance. Thank you.
Thanks, Sissi. I think user experience is a big one in general in the whole Web3 space. We're almost at the end of our session, actually. So for the guests that we do have, if you have any questions for Mehdi, for Rosie, or for Sissi regarding their projects, I think there's a little background noise going on. Yeah. Please feel free to either put them in the comments, or please feel free to ask them live. And it would be great if the questions were more focused on the topic of today, which is obviously DePin. And to close off to the second to last question. We're always curious to hear what our guests are bullish about. And obviously your projects are great. And Mehdi, I know you mentioned a lot of really interesting projects before. By the way, this flight tracker thing, I actually find that very interesting because I'm very guilty of tracking flights of my loved ones. Whenever I see someone going on a flight, I'm always making sure that they arrive safely. So if I could earn some tokens by doing that, I wouldn't mind. But yeah, so you guys mentioned obviously a good amount of projects. But are there any other projects or builders or influencers that are currently very interesting to you guys in the crypto space and that you're particularly excited about, obviously, apart from your own? Maybe, are you excited about anyone else except for the ones you mentioned?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, I can go on and on. I just see within the listener list, I spot Ali. Ali Raza is also building amazing mapping DePin with a different unique angle. I kind of feel like will be as big as High Mapper if not less. So shout out to Ali. He's building Natex, so check that project out. I'm also very excited about Peak. Peak is about to launch on 12th November. We are investors there. Then I also mentioned GeoNet. Mentioned a humanity protocol. Yeah, so those are some of the projects that we have invested in and we like. And even some of the projects we haven't invested in, we still love the business model. Like one I mentioned was Wingbits. I think it's super cool, super interesting. So yeah, we're all about the space to grow, and we want to work with as many DePin projects as possible and try to grow the pie. But in terms of our investments, you guys know about my bags now.
Great. Rosie, are you excited about any influencers or builders or projects apart from your own?
Yeah, definitely. Just check out our main accounts following list. I'm pretty bullish on all of them, and some of them, again, the project that I mentioned, it's I think their handler is EXO Labs. I think I think it's a good demonstration because a lot of people think that large language models can only run on high performance compute data centers. They're demonstrating an alternative running on edge, which makes a lot of the compute, especially consumer grade compute based DePin networks, their tokenomics possible because there's going to be demand for it. Yeah, again, like Mehdi said, there's many of them. I think we're still early to see just to say like in terms of traction, who's going to get the most market share or who's going to find the right product market fit. Because I think a lot of us have good ideas and trying to find that. But again, I think the whole DePin landscape is just exciting, and then we're going to see more innovation in the space.
Amazing. Yeah, that's a good one actually to check out your profile's main follower lists to see what you guys are bullish on. Sissi, last but not least, are you excited about any other projects apart from Solana SIM in the crypto space?
Yeah, I think DePin represents the new generation and it's the future. I really believe, and it's a frontier in digital infrastructure with profound potential for growth. And as the market continue to evolve, I think DePin stand as the sort of redefining traditional business model through its decentralized framework of cost and its ability to enhance like efficiency, low cost, and I think this is the future. So with a lot of opportunity, and we can do a lot of things. So yeah, I believe.
That's good. We need believers, right?
Yeah.
But also with how the market is going, I think it's hopefully all gonna go green and up. And yeah, that was actually our almost last question of the Twitter Spaces. It's been really great to talk to all three of you and get your perspective on from three different angles, which is always something we love to do when we bring our guests together for roundtables. Peter, also been great to hear your perspectives on certain things as always. Before we close it off, I want to give you three the opportunity to perhaps tell our community what they can look forward to. Are there any launches? Are there any alphas that you can share with us? Rosie, how about you? I know you guys have a strong roadmap ahead.
Yeah, we do this like every month, first week of the month. We're gonna do our November's roadmap. I think tomorrow. Next week we're launching. I think the first. I think because I haven't seen this in the space, the first yield enhanced mining backed on chain forwards, and then later on we're creating secondary market for it. And then we're gonna list more assets on our market. At the same time, we'll be building the option infrastructure for sellers to structure their products and sell the products as options. And that's pretty much for November. And then for the multi-mining app, we're continuously adding more, integrating more networks into it so that retail users, as long as you have a laptop, download our app and then start running it, and then passively start earning enhanced or boosted incomes via running the nodes in parallel, and then at the same time contributing to building the world's computer again. Yeah, that's pretty much for November. And then for December, and then for next year, we'll be releasing our annual report at the end of the year. I think in there we're going to have detailed product roadmap.
Great. Keep an eye out for that one. Mehdi, what about you guys? What can you give us as alpha?
I can just tell you about the TGE date. I'm looking forward towards Peak Network launching on 12th November. So I look forward towards that. Hopefully the launch goes well. And as the market have picked up and what we are seeing with Grass, which is another DePin project, I remain very optimistic about it. So have a look out for that. Also, another alpha is we'll be doing a lot more DePin focus podcasts at Animoca. So do go out there and subscribe to Open Metaverse Show on YouTube. You'll see a lot more in the tranches founder come out on that podcast and basically give deep dive of their projects.
100%. Yeah. Honestly, Mehdi, I'm a fan. I'm starstruck. I do really like your podcast. So for everyone that's listening, really 100% recommend that you tune into Mehdi's chats. And yeah, and also make sure to follow Ping Pong, make sure to follow Animoca brands, make sure to follow Solana SIM, keep up to date with everything that they're doing. That's actually it from us. So Peter and I, we host Twitter Spaces every 2 weeks. We do roundtables just like this with interesting people in the space. We also do one-on-one interviews with founders from our portfolio companies, where we dive a little bit deeper into what it's like to be a founder and what they're doing in the crypto space. So make sure to stay tuned for the next one. And until then, we will keep you updated on any events that are happening. A couple of our team members are going to be in Bangkok next week. We are hosting a series of side events. One of them is our second edition of the Godzilla Gaming Night. So if you're an avid gamer or you just want to check out Off the Grid, or you want to meet the team, make sure to see us in Bangkok. So have a great afternoon, everyone.
Bullish on Godzilla as well. We love Godzilla. We love Godzilla as well. We're investors, very bullish on them. And yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, can't wait. It's gonna be great. Are you playing, Mehdi? Are you playing Off the Grid?
Yeah, I did. Did not now, but I did a few weeks back.
Yeah, it's a great game. We have
Now I feel like since the market are returning, there won't be enough hours in the day.
I know. I know. You're gonna stay up in the late hours of the night to play. My husband has a PlayStation at home, and I hear it in the background a lot. So yes, it's a great game. Check us out. Meet us in Bangkok, and see you guys next time. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you, everyone.